You know, when I came to this country, it was a real eye-opener for me that I could buy a house. Now, when I came from Germany, this is not what we did. People rented. We had nice furniture, probably nicer furniture than the Canadians had, but we sure as heck didn't own our own property. When I bought my first house a year later, after it saved the money, very difficult. I bought a house. I wrote my dad that I bought a house. He didn't believe it. He just could not believe that. And I said, how long will it take you for the mortgage? I said, it'll take 25 years. And he wrote me back and says, isn't that wonderful? In 25 years, you own your own home. This is amazing. He was just absolutely stunned. And then later on, I could afford to bring both my parents here to look at us. I just could not believe that everybody owned their own house. And they could work at it, make it more beautiful, and have a garden. My mother says, grow her own tomatoes, and all these wonderful things. And I realized that I felt this was one of the most important differences, was that home ownership in Canada and the United States was something positive, really important. And it really made the difference between their lives. Well, a long time went by, and governments all over the world created the most unreported inflation of all time. I've written 5 books on it. I've done countless interviews and speeches on it. Every time I make a speech, and I make between 40 and 80 speeches a year, fewer now. And I point this out, that we print this money, we owe the world $330 trillion, we'll never pay it back, and it'll settle into hard assets, period. Always has. And now the government says, well, you may be right, but we want a piece of that. So the capital gains exemption is under attack. And secondly, they want to bring in something new, and that is a home equity tax. Now remember, there's 2 entirely different things here. One is going after the money you might have made in the house that you live in once you sell. The other is, sell it or not, you get a tax every year of up to 1%. So $2.3 million, the average house in Vancouver, that is 23,000. Well, it might be everything over 1 million, and then it would only be 13,000. Still, in 10 years, you owe 130,000 or 260,000. And in 20 years, you owe 260,000 or 520,000, and you got to pay it. And if you don't pay it, it's okay. You can pay it when you die. Your heirs will pay, but there will be interest. And we don't fight. We don't complain. Nobody talks about it. When I talk about it, they say, oh, well, they don't mean it. They spend $450,000 trying to find it out. You have to have your head examined to not argue, or at least not to ask the question before the election of each one of the parties. Will you or will you not eliminate the private home tax? And will you or will you not bring in a home equity tax? And if you do a tax, do you bring it in retroactively? Be interesting to hear those questions before you vote. Yep.